Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today is the continuation of my last video of NAS build. Today we are going to focus on the software setup for the NAS. The last video mainly talked about the hardware requirement, how to build the PC. Apart from PC building, there are some crucial things you need to consider while doing the NAS build, especially the hardware you use for the long run reliability, those kind of stuff, and the ECC memory and other stuff. That's what I talked about it, and also talked about the silent cage. There are a few brands which makes the silent cage, but yeah, that's from the last video. This is let's continue on to the NAS build itself. Very first time, what I did was boot the system. Basically, you boot the system and I went through the BIOS just to check everything looks good. I went through the BIOS. The one thing I noticed was the very first thing was like I was like, wanted to confirm my hard drives are all recognized and all. Initially, I didn't see the hard drive. I was a little worried. Then I realized, oh, there's a BIOS update. I checked on the Asus website and there was a BIOS update pending. So I ended up doing the Asus BIOS flashing. Let's see, the BIOS version here is very first was like a 37 something. Yeah, 3701 into x64. So Asus BIOS flashing is very straightforward. There's a BIOS, there's a USB port they give in the back. I think if I remember, I put the USB down. I downloaded the image and just inserted that and rebooted, and I selected the BIOS flash. There's a from the BIOS itself. There's an option to do the BIOS flash. Yeah, this is what I was talking initially when I very first boot. This is the very first boot of the hard drive. I mean hardware. The computer was up very first time, and I didn't see the drives. Though it shows the SSDs, but it didn't show the 3.5 HDDs. So that's my concern, and ended up. Let's see. Yeah, this is the next boot. I did a BIOS flash. Yeah, this is the BIOS plus. They call it Easy Flash or something. It is pretty straightforward. I was able to do it without any issues, and it went successful. And next, again, I rebooted. I mean, obviously, I had to reboot. I shouldn't be saying that word again and again. So next time when I rebooted, again I went and checked. I didn't see the hard drives recognized. This time I was really concerned. What's happening? Why my hard drives are they corrupt? Like, I mean, I bought it from Seagate. Should be good. I didn't need buy it from any third party vendors or anything like that. So it should be good. Then I did a little bit research, and there's a couple of suggestions came through. Basically, one was there's a VMD controller. Intel provides that along with this motherboard, the newer motherboards, where it is a virtual managed devices or something. It's a controller basically to manage your SSDs and HDDs together. And actually, they say it works after the OS got installed. OS will link them together. This will provide some overlaying feature for that. I didn't dig in deep, so just wanted to confirm like my drives are all good and all. So I ended up disabling that VMD. That's basically in some advanced configuration. If I look at the BIOS, I remember this is wait. Yeah, see, this is the VMD controller. I am disabling this, and once I disabled, I rebooted. Voila! Next time, I see my drives. Basically, you see this, you can see all the drives. Like there are two 14 TB drives which are there. They are all good. So I was super happy. Yeah, at least the major stuff, my system as it is with all the hardware, everything is up and good. So then I took the USB image where I put the OpenNAS image, the bootable image for the installation. I used that. I already had a boot drive configured in the BIOS. For the first one will be USB, obviously. So with that, I ran the installer. This time it was seamless. Only except was one glitch. I had to do repeated tasks like twice. Just an advice for everyone: when you're installing, try to install it online, not offline. When I say online, plug it to Ethernet cable so that it will have an IP registered when you're doing the installation. That you can change it later. but it requires, otherwise what happens is it will force you to like configure the IPs, network parameters, network stuff, and then only you can proceed. So initially I stumbled because I was doing this installation in my office and I had a bridge, not the router, blah blah blah, so I couldn't get the IP, and I ended up like reinstalling with a router connected to the system, where it seamlessly went smooth. Like it takes like about 15 minutes, couple of places it stalls, but it was all good. At the end, you get the this screen. Let me move a little bit faster. Yeah, this is the screen you get. That means your boot is successful. You get an IP registered here. Like mine was like 81. I am keeping the 81 now. I made that as a static IP in my router configuration, like a fixed reserved IP for OpenNAS. And you log into the main admin UI. I mean, admin UI is a web-based UI. It's very simple. There's a default username and password. You can change it. I mean, you had to change it once you log in, and then you do all the configuration. As soon as I logged in, you see those are like apps that, I mean, I was just going through. I just fast forward the recording a bit, and I wanted to check what all things. So it is showing you data dev is like one mirror, like two. There's a 12.73 TB. That's like 14 TB drives. Recognize that like a two 12.73 TB. I don't know like why. I mean, obviously it is not exactly 14 TBs. Maybe some spaces left for the management and other stuff. So, so this is the basic installation, and now you have to create a pool and then the data sets. I created a main pool. There are actually two pools in the current system. The very first I created one big pool for the core TB, and under that I have a different data sets. Data set is like, you can think it as like a folders dedicated for certain tasks. So one for like my SMB shares, like my Mac, I'm sharing my all media content to that to save and backup. And another one, you have to be very organized, otherwise it will kind of get messed up probably. You have to be like, make sure where you are saving stuff. Like for example, I have a data set for the SMB, I have a data set for the apps. Under the apps I have different apps. Like for example, I installed Nextcloud. Nextcloud has its own folder under that, and also I have a nginx reverse proxy. It will take minimal stuff, but like whatever the data it want to save, persist, I put it there. Whatever app you have, if there's a user data, you can create this data shares on the main STDs. And also, as I earlier said, right, I have like 1 TB NVMe SSD, which is dedicated for the apps only, because apps require fast read write features, their metadata. Excuse me. So that's what I did. Initially, it asked me to like wipe, if you want to wipe everything. I said, okay, why not? Like it's a brand new drive. I just wipe it clean and started that. NAS UI itself. Let me open the browser. So this is the admin. I already changed the configuration. I'll just go over. I already did the full setup. It's functional. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm just doing this video much later. And also, initially I started with 32 GB. I added 32 more GBs ECC RAM, which is 64 GB. And GFS cache uses a lot in the sense it is better if it is not being used by any other process. It will, I think it will still go up. It can go up a lot till if there's any application or any other processes requiring more, it will leave up to that. It's smart enough where to stop, but it will use maximum. That basically helps to the faster indexing and read write speeds for that, the NAS system. That's one thing. Coming back, this is the high level dashboard as soon as you get in, and you have CPU temperature, and other stuff like all the data. You can look at it. This is the storage. So I have the managed device. The main. This is one TB SSD. That's where there's one pool I created for the applications, and this is for the core data store, 14 TB mirrored setup. So that's a one. And see, the capacity is like right now 8.5% used, and this is just 1.1%. All health is good. The two basically pools, and each pools, if you go to the data sets, this is how I created. This is an app pool. I have a main app is Nextcloud app. If you see, there's app storage and Postgres DB, which this requires a faster read write access. That's why I created this on a 1 TB SSD, NVMe SSD. That actually initially I started with HDD itself, but I felt like Nextcloud was pretty slow, so I moved everything to the SSD. I did that swap a little later. It's just a trial and error. I mean, like I started with the basic stuff and then I improvised. That's how you can see, not a trial and error, but yeah. So the for you, the tip is better if you're planning to install any apps, use an SSD. And for the data store, you need to have like a 3.5 reliable long run enterprise grade hard drives. So that's for it. And also you cannot share the NVMe SSDs. Like for the boot, I have a separate SSD. Boot cannot be shared with cache or ZFS if you are using a log for the log purpose or the log purpose or cache purpose. Either one of them you can use it. You can have, if you have more slots, you can use it for all. Usually the log is basically to use to improve the speed. When I didn't dig in much, but then the OpenNAS documents and the blogs are saying you can set up them on the NVMe itself. But for the pool, it cannot be shared because ZFS indexing consider it as like an entire disk. It cannot partition or use it. So for the app pool, I used the entire 1 TB NVMe SSD, and the data pool. This is the core 14 like 14 TB data. So if you look at the structure I created, is basically application. Each application has its own stuff, right? So I have a AdGuard installed, DDNS updater, Nextcloud, NGINX proxy. All they require some user data which will maintain. So especially Nextcloud, all your user data will come here. The metadata will go into the app storage and Postgres. That's how the split happens. And this is my SMB share, where I'm sharing all my this drive is shared across my home network. All my computers connect and I can move the data around. I created one for my mom's Nextcloud data. She also, I installed a Nextcloud on her iPhone, so her photographs or any files or data, she can just save it. It will automatically back up. And in my next video, I'll go over how to do the Nextcloud setup and set up a domain, Nextcloud, NGINX proxy, reverse proxy. They are a little bit tricky. There are some glitches when you're doing it. I learned it hard way, but I was successful. Right now, I have a domain exposed through the Cloudflare. That is my primary proxy outside on the internet, because I wanted open to my outside world also. That's why I created domain. If you don't care about that, just within your home network, you don't even have to worry about the domain and reverse proxy and all. You can simply do that NGINX and then use it in the home environment. So you can access you can back up your photos or documents in the home, but outside you can't. I mean, there are different ways to do that, but the one way I did was that. So, okay, coming back to this data protection, I did dig in much. Credentials, yeah, you need to create. There are openness documentation which you can do that. You can create users, and each of these data sets drive, right. If you look at, right, I mean, I can go in deep for those. Like there are permission sets. You need to set up appropriate permission sets. For the Nextcloud, it is www data. Even the Postgres is that. The no, it's just for the Postgres, it's a Docker container permissions basically. And if you look at my SMB, I think they are generic permissions, group root and built-in users, the group users. The permissions is a different ballgame a bit, but you can look up. It's pretty straightforward. Individual apps, they will mention how to do that. That's what I did. I mean, my this video is not diving deep in. It's just a high level how you can do, and what all the glitches you can get in. The couple of things are like that the hard drives for, especially that is with my motherboard, WS680, and the hard drives, I had to do all those dramas to get the hard drive recognized initially. And secondly, I didn't have the Ethernet connected, so I entered into like a little bit of redoing the whole thing with the Ethernet connected, and after that, it's smooth sailing. So if you look at these apps, right now, the DDNS update, because I have a domain running, I need like my ISP provides a static IP, but that keep on changing. So that needs to be updated to the DNS servers. So this app will do that. And this ad guard, basically it filters the ad guard, but like again, it's already entered into my network. It is doing at this level, but I don't know how it will work. It should be on something like a firewall or a WAF, I guess. And this is an NGNX proxy. This pretty is straightforward, simple UI. What happened is the other thing is like I was eager, and there was a new release of NGNX proxy. I update. I mean, this is while doing the Nextcloud installation. But yeah, I'll go in detail on that. I ended up upgrading. There was a issue or a bug. My domain was, I mean, there was a mess up. I had to roll back, and there is no direct option in the rollback, mainly because this is all pre-built apps I installed. Like if you say discover apps, it will show what all the apps available in their marketplace. These are all Dockerized containers. The latest version is Docker, pure Docker based containers. You just install it, and there's a high level configuration you can do. You can discover all the apps, and only for the NGNX I ended up downgrading for that, because here they already have an updated version which has a bug, especially with I forgot what it was. It is with a oh, some update with the domain certificates. I guess it was not recognizing, or some issue. So I had to roll back manually by like downloading the NGNX image, the previous version image, and it's very straightforward in that way. Like to install, you can do a custom install. See here, you see the custom apps. You can do that. You can either configure it like that, or you can do with the Docker file. Yeah, install via ML. Yeah, this is what, right? You just put that Docker file here, and make sure your Docker file is all good. They're pretty simple Docker files. I will mention the port and other stuff, basic admin passwords and all. So that default gets up. So that's what I did it for the NGNX, the older version. I need to check in the blogs whether they fixed the bug, the latest bug, or not. But it's otherwise it's all good so far. Everything is working fine. I can access my SMB from my Mac. It is super fast because my Mac Mini has 10 gig Ethernet port, and my router has so far is a 2.5 gig Ethernet port, and the Asus motherboard is 2.5 gig Ethernet NIC cards. So the speed is really fast. 2.5 is awesome. Like I just move like 3 GB for data within like 30 seconds from my Mac to my NAS. Same thing if you're doing it on Wi-Fi through the Nextcloud or SMB on my iPhone. It is limited by, obviously limited by your Wi-Fi speed. Mine is around 600 Mbps average in the house. I got a new router, mesh router, TP-Link Deco B1000, I think. That's what I got, Wi-Fi 7. So I'm super happy with that setup also, because actually that whole thing, Wi-Fi router upgrade happened because of the NAS server. Initial thought is I'll put the NAS in my living room, but I ended up, after all the build, I thought it should be kept in the office room. That's better. But my office room was purely running on Wi-Fi before. My previous Wi-Fi Netgear was good enough. Like I was still getting 400 Mbps in upstairs room from my downstairs router. But I needed a port. The bridge cannot do that. I have some old router I was repurposing for a bridge. The speed will go down and all. So all that things considering, I ended up upgrading my router to Wi-Fi 7 mesh router, and it was breeze upgrade. It's very very easy. My first TP Link. I think I've been a Netgear user for a long time, and they were expensive. But this one is like moderately priced, and plus with Amazon Prime Day, I got a good deal on this. I'm super happy so far. That's about it, and watch out for my next cloud. installation guide or like a setup guide at a high level. And if you have any questions and comments, please do comment. Please do subscribe and share. Cheers for now. Thank you.